Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode where today we're going to be ranking every single Skylanders roster. First off, I'm just gonna say Superchargers is in last place, 6th place to be specific. It's just such a forgettable roster. Now, my favorite character does originate from this game, but that's not to say most of the characters are very forgettable. Thrill Heat, for an example, is extremely, one of the most forgettable characters of all time. Now, it's probably because he sold terribly, but I could have gone my entire life without knowing there was a second life element character, or technically third if you're counting Donkey Kong. So, yeah. But also, another thing towards Superchargers with this roster is the fact that stuff like, the dark element and the light element have less characters. Not to say that they're bad characters, just less characters than the normal ones. The other ones have returning Skylanders only, so, well, not only, but they still mostly contain returning Skylanders, or half of it, I guess. Characters like Diveclops, he's pretty forgettable, as the only sea vehicle I have is the Dive Bomber, which I got alongside Diveclops, but still, he's still very forgettable in many ways. But no matter what, that's just my opinion. Also, I think I forgot to mention this. Remember, all these are just my opinions, so if you respect mine, I'll respect yours. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, why don't we go into 5th place, and that is Skylanders Trap Team. Now, before you say anything, oh, my favorite characters from Trap Team, oh, this game had so many characters, why is it the most basic in your opinion? See, Superchargers was forgettable. This game's also forgettable, and kinda simple. Now, of course, they had so many characters to work with, it was a little difficult to make it to where all these characters were interesting, but I don't know how many times I forgot Trailblazer's name, and it's annoying. Like, that's the one Skylander that it took me so long to learn that he even existed. Now, sure, I may have checked the in-game character list or whatever, but that doesn't mean that I remember his name. Gusto, characters like that. It's either because I'm the least nostalgic, or it's the game that I have the least characters for. I think it might be Sparrow's Adventure, but still, no matter what, it's pretty forgettable with most of the characters that are in the game. But with that out of the way, why don't we go into 4th place? In 4th place, we have Skylanders Giants. Now, it's not because most of the characters are pretty forgettable. Now, many characters aren't great characters, many characters aren't the most memorable, but some characters from this game are the most returning and most iconic characters in the series. But I'm just saying this is just because most characters in the roster are returning characters, and it's more than new characters. And with Superchargers example, there was the same amount of returning characters and new characters, but if you counted the Nintendo characters, then there were even more new characters, so yeah, I guess. But in this game, it's mostly just returning characters. Now, these characters are some of the better characters, but still, characters like, say, for example, let me think. Eyebrow may be a little bit hard to remember well, and let me think. Ninjini's a pretty bad character, period. So, yeah, it's mostly either between characters that either aren't good or just terrible. And in 3rd place, we have Skylanders Imaginators. These characters, I would have put them lower, but in their respective own game, they are very powerful, which means that they're good Skylanders. That doesn't mean they're not forgettable. Mystic Cat, characters like that, or that rhymed, are very, very, very forgettable. But these characters are just powerful, so that's why I put it here. And simply because in this game they are way more buffed than the nerfed normal Skylanders. So yeah, that's the only reason why I put it up here. If it weren't for them being very powerful. Now, if I'm just talking about the characters alone, it would have gone right before Trap Team. But after that, we have in second place is Spyro's Adventure. Just because the roster from Spyro's Adventure is so great. Like, you have... Now, characters can be bad, weak, or something like that, but they are still pretty great characters. Like, say, for example, Chop Chop. He's a very good character. I really love this character, even though I haven't even upgraded him yet because I haven't played Skylanders that much since I've gotten him. But still, he's a great Skylander and a very memorable Skylander. I could basically name almost every character from this game and only get stumbled upon like 2 just because, like the Lightning Rod. I only remember his name now just because of how much I hate his voice, but still, other than that, there are very memorable Skylanders in this game. And in number 1 place, we have Skylanders Swap Force, just because it is the game with my most favorite characters. Now, there may be some bad characters in many opinions, but that doesn't mean they're not interesting characters. In my opinion, this game came up with the most interesting characters out of them all. Like Starstrike, it's such a simple design, but where do you get this design? Like, it's very simple. Another T-Rex, similar type of character, but it still has its own type of moveset and whatever. You got characters like Rattleshake, which is also really interesting. Night Shift, being a ghost vampire type of thing, is very unique, in my opinion. And, many of the not lightning, but legendary characters in this game look way more interesting. And in my opinion, this game has the best art style just because of how great the characters are. My second place favorite character, I love him for more than just, like, how powerful or just good his moveset is. I love him for his design and how great his moveset is. Because with Spitfire, he has a pretty good moveset, and I love his design, but besides that, that's all he really has. But this guy looks interesting. He's a cool concept, and he's more than just great for just what he's supposed to be representing. Spitfire, he's just supposed to be representing the superchargers. He does that great. But this guy isn't supposed to be representing anything else. He isn't supposed to be representing anything besides the fact that he's similar to the Grim Reaper. But he's still very, very interesting. Swap Force has the most interesting characters by far, and the most memorable characters in my opinion. In this game, I can name basically every single character without getting stumbled. Like, literally one day I was looking at the Spyro's Adventure roster, I stumbled upon literally 2, but in this game I feel like I won't stumble upon a single one of them just because of how memorable these characters are. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Bye!